Hello, everybody. Good morning. I am Lisa Rose, and I'm a love, dating, and intimacy coach for men, women, and couples who are just ready. Hello. Good morning. To have relationships that work, that thrive, that consistently feel easy and fun and joyful. Welcome, everyone. And of course, welcome to the replay viewers. I'm coming to you today from California. We've just had one of our first rains, and so the air feels especially fresh and vibrant this morning. Feel free to introduce yourself if you're here. Oh, hey there. Hi, nice to have you. I'd love to know where you are coming from and how your morning's going. Who had a great Halloween? So if you're in the States, hello from Virginia. Hi. I think Halloween is just celebrated in America, I'm pretty sure. So I had a fabulous Halloween. What did you guys dress up with? What did you dress up as? Oh, from Turkey. Hello there. Hi. So I was thinking China. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey. So I was thinking over the weekend, Russia, wow, we got a lot of, well, I'm going to tell you what I dressed up as. Stick around, naughty nurse. That sounds fun. Thank you. So I went to a party. There were lots of my friends there, and I just loved seeing the creativity of what people come up with and who they created themselves to be. And one of the things that I've always really enjoyed about Halloween, hello everybody, is that it's a chance for these parts of ourselves that we don't usually give expression to be just full out in full display. You know what I mean, right? Hello. So if you think about who you chose to be, yeah, hearts are always great. Just tap the screen if you want to send me some heart love. Thank you. I appreciate that. Who did you I do not speak Portuguese, no. Who did you dress up as this year? I'd love to hear what you guys went as if you're in the States, or if you're not in the States, but you can imagine yourself dressing up as this like alter ego, you know, this persona, this part of yourself that you don't leave with. Sexy baby, yeah, that sounds fun. It's interesting because one of the things that I noticed at the, Russia, what are you doing? One of the things, okay, I'm going to block you. You are going to bye. That I noticed at the weekend, thanks for all the hearts, guys, is that there were some themes that showed up. And one of them is a lot of the women liked to show a sexier side of themselves, and that showed up in all kinds of different costumes. I had this costume, it was this kind of small Brazilian, yeah. It was kind of a short little dress, and it was black and white, and on it it said guilty, as if I was like an escaped convict or something. And during the night, I told a lot of people, you love what? You love your shit. I told a lot of people that on the other side of my costume, it should have also said shameless, because I may be guilty, but I'm enjoying myself and I feel no shame about it. Yeah, it feels good, doesn't it? So here's the thing that I wanted to, how do I get, what? I can't read these things sometimes. How do I get hose? Wow, okay. So, here's how Halloween and dressing up relates to authenticity, which is a big part of what makes for thriving, lasting, and successful relationships. Do you ever feel in your friendships or in your partnerships that there's parts of yourself that you're holding back and you're not quite sure you're feeling yourself too? Right on, I'm glad to hear that. That there's parts of yourself that you're not fully expressed in. Like maybe you have some ideas that you can let your nice girl out, that it's okay to be polite, but when you're feeling angry or when you're feeling more assertive about there's something in particular that you want or something that you don't like, or just some part of yourself that you want to express. All right, I gotta put my glasses on. Okay, you are gonna go bye-bye, thank you. that part of what makes relationships feel really good and also help them last longer is when we're bringing all of ourselves forward, right? When I give myself permission to show all the different shades and spectrum of who I am to my partner, to my friends, to the world, right? That's what makes relationship feel really juicy and alive, and it's also what keeps it real. Okay, so I am not appreciating some of these messages, but just say goodbye to you. In the meantime, you're welcome to bring some appropriate comments. I'd love to know how this is resonating for you. I'd also love to hear what you dressed up as, or what you think of your alter ego as. Like, who's this part of you inside that if you were really giving yourself permission? So for me, part of what I loved about this costume is I could move in it really well, and I could dance. I love to dance. The band music was great, and it wasn't too hot. So that was definitely part of it. And it was also just really fun to go as somebody besides Lisa Rose, right? So what would it be like in your relationships to give yourself full permission to just be who you are, and to do it in a way that is that is responsible and inclusive, so you're not just being dramatic about it, but that you actually could let the people who you want to be the closest to know what you're feeling, what you're thinking, what you're liking, what you're not liking. So I'll give you another example from my own life. So yesterday I was spending some time with a friend, and we just ended up having a conversation about what helps us to feel more or less connected. And I shared with him that one of the ways that I feel really cared about and connected to is when he asks me more questions about my life, because I really like it when people are curious about me, and I have a tendency to be curious about other people. Is this resonating with you guys? You can send some hearts if so. Do you guys like asking questions? Do you prefer to be the question asker? Do you like it when you're just talking and don't have to have questions? What's your preference? So I like to be asked questions, because when I feel somebody's curious about me, that's a way that I feel cared about. And in that conversation, he actually learned that there were things that he wasn't necessarily knowing about me yet that I would love to share more about him. So I'm going to loop back to Halloween, right? When I was in the room with all these different costumes and all these different people just expressing in so many different ways, what felt great about it is that I felt like there was all this permission. We were all giving ourselves permission to just be real. And it doesn't necessarily mean, okay, you like to not be interviewed? Yeah. What's your preference then? What feels better for you? Do you like to just share about what's on your mind or what's in your heart? And what happens for you when you feel like, yeah, I guess interviewing, I wouldn't exactly say I like to be interviewed, but I do like it when people ask questions. And what you're saying is that it just really speaks to that we all have different preferences, right? And the only way that our friends and our lovers and our partners are going to know what feels good for us is when we directly communicate that. So he actually, like what he said to me is, yeah, thank you. What he said to me is, he said, well, Lisa, it seems like you share a lot and you're generally really open and you talk to me about a lot of stuff. So I didn't ever get the impression that I need to ask you questions. And my response was, well, I can see how it would feel that way, but you don't actually know what I'm not talking about because I'm not talking about it. And then in a very non-critical and non-judgmental way, I just gave him some hints and some information about other things that I would also enjoy sharing about, that I would love the conversation to include, but maybe they feel a little bit more vulnerable for me, so I'm more open to sharing about them when I feel asked and invited. And he totally got it. And it was, it was kind of one of those conversations that I think of as like a deepening conversation. Because in relationship, we're usually either going one of two ways. Okay, I got to read this. Live, 100 years without eating meat or die. Okay, what does that have to do with what we're talking about? I'm not sure. You guys are funny today. Relationships are usually going one of two ways. They're either deepening and building intimacy, which comes as a direct result of revealing more of our authentic self, or they get less connected because we're holding back and we're hiding, and internally we might be criticizing and wishing that the person would do something different, but we're not really giving them a lot of direct information. Okay, without your router love 100 years. Okay, you are going to go bye-bye. So here's my question for you today. If you were going to give yourself full permission to just be yourself, to be all the different shades and spectrums of who you are, your nice self, your naughty self, your wicked self, your unleashed self, your brilliant self, all the different parts of you that I know you got in there, what would that look like? What would that feel like? Who would you give yourself permission to be? And how might you express that to the people who are already in your life, to people that you want to be closer to people that maybe there's something that you've been holding back about sharing? And how can you grant yourself permission? I'm writing you a permission slip right now to allow a part of yourself that you maybe been keeping a little bit hidden, to just give it permission, and let me know how it feels. And if you'd like to be in touch, I am at www.deeperlovebettersex.com. You can also find me on Facebook. And I wish you all, it was great to have an international crowd. If you're listening to the replay, hearts are really appreciated. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. And I wish you a really fabulous and love-filled day. Bye-bye, everybody.